Hello friends and welcome to another video. My name is Julie if you're new here, and today we're going to tier rank Booktok books. So I found this huge tier ranking list and it has the most popular Booktok books on it. And I thought that would be interesting. What is funny about this is that I don't actually have TikTok because I just know I would get addicted and that wouldn't be good for me and my mental health. I am already on social media way too much with Instagram and YouTube alone, so I'm just going to skip that one, thanks. But I can definitely understand the appeal. I'm not saying I'm better than that or anything, it's just I know myself and I would be stuck on that app forever. Especially because reels and shorts are so addicting, and that is just all that TikTok is. Anyway, I'm still always interested to see what is popular in Booktok, because I think the generation that is mostly on there is Gen Z, and they seem to have pretty good taste in books, and I'm really excited to see that because of that, books are in this huge hype right now, or reading is a hype. Because back when I was younger, reading was this nerdy thing that you didn't want to tell anyone as your hobby, except if you would be okay to be called a nerd, and that was me. But nowadays it seems pretty cool to read. I don't know, I can't really tell. I don't know enough people that age to really say, but I guess it seems like reading is a hobby which people find cool now. And I like that a lot. Because reading is great. And it's so fun. It's so much more than just boring books that you have to read for school, or just books with themes that have nothing to do with your everyday life. And yeah, I'm just rambling so much. I should get to the point. We're going to do this list. I'm going to tell you about the books that I have read and also about the ones that I didn't, and maybe I know them and then I can tell you about them as well. So let's get started. The first book that we have on here is called The Dare. And I had to look this one up because it is the first book on here and I didn't want to be like, I don't know it. And it seems to be a dark romance book, which I don't read that much because I'm too soft for that. I can't see people being treated that badly most of the time. But yeah, I don't know. It doesn't really seem like a book that could be interesting to me. I wouldn't say that I won't read it, but I also wouldn't say I want to put it on my TBR. And I don't have a category for that. So I'm going to put it on won't read. If I happen to come across this somewhere, I might pick it up just because it's popular, but that would be the only reason. Otherwise, not really that interested in the story. The Invisible Life of Eddie LaRue. That is still something that is on my TBR. Still haven't gotten around to reading it, let's not talk about that. Girl in Pieces, I have no idea what that is, I have to look that up. So it is by Kathleen Glasgow, and it seems to be a YA book. Oh no, this is a sad one. Huh? No, I'm not going to read that, I'm sorry. This is definitely going to make me cry more than just a little bit. That seems like such a sad book. Wow. I'm sorry, I can't. That will crush my mental health. After that, we have All Your Perfects by Colleen Hoover. First one that I have actually read. Woo! And I love that book. I read it and it was such an emotional read to me, and I just said that I don't want to cry and I don't want to read books like that, but I didn't know how much this book would crush me before I read it. Then suddenly it's okay and I like it. Make it make sense, but I wouldn't say I enjoyed reading this because it wasn't fun to read it, but it really made me emotional. It was heartbreaking and I would still recommend this. It tells the story of a married couple and they have problems with conceiving a child, and then it tells like their present and their past relationship, and their present relationship is really not in a good state. Then it tells their past relationship and how they fell in love. And yeah, I did mention this book in my video about books that made me cry my eyes out. So yeah, there we go. Which tier am I going to do this again? Will sell my soul to experience this for the... I would definitely not sell my soul to experience this for the first time again, because as I said, it has crushed me and I cried. I'm going to put this here. That seems the right expression for this book. Sally Rooney's Conversations with Friends is the only Sally Rooney book I believe that I haven't read, and it is definitely on my TBR. I really want to read that. Same with If We Were Villains. I think that's also Dark Academia, right? I definitely want to read that as well. Susanna Clarke, Piranesi. I have a different Susanna Clarke novel that I want to read first, with Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. But this one is also on my TBR. Wow, we're doing really good here. But this list is long, so there are books that I have read. I'm going to maybe skip forward a little because there are many books on here that I haven't read, and I'm going to sort them out real quick so you don't have to see all that. A Touch of Darkness is a book that I really want to read. That is definitely also on my TBR. Same with Punk 57, that book Chandler Ainsley has talked about so much and has recommended that many times that I need to read this. And of course The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Most of the ones that I put in won't read are just books that I don't really know, but one that I definitely don't want to read because I know what it is about is A Little Life, because that is another sad book and it's also really long. Oh, here is The Priory of the Orange Tree. This was recommended to me. Yeah, this is also my TBR. I don't know Defy the Night, but I do know Bridget Camara. I haven't read any books by her, but I've heard about her, and that's why I'm going to put this on TBR instead of won't read. The Secret History is also definitely one that I want to pick up. Okay, well, these were so many books. If you see any on the won't read list that you think I should definitely check out, then please let me know, because for some of these, as I've said, I don't know what they are about, and maybe I would be interested in reading them if I knew. So yeah, if you see anything, then please let me know. Otherwise, there are lots of books on my TBR, as you can see. Let's not talk about that. I'm overwhelmed. Let's just stay there. But now we only have the books left that I actually have read, and let's get to them. We Were Liars. I thought this book was really good and fun, but it wasn't one of the best books that I've ever read. Because the story was fine, but it wasn't the most inventive thing, and it was also really short, so there wasn't like that much time to really connect with the characters. Even though I did think it was very well done. I'm going to put this in A tier. It is really inconvenient that I have to scroll now. Anyway. The Hating Game. I know many people really like this. I don't. I didn't think this was an interesting story. It wasn't the best office romance that I've ever read. Yeah, I didn't really enjoy the characters together. I didn't really feel the spark as much. It was alright though. It wasn't the worst romance that I've ever read. Oh, now we have Ari and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. This is one of the books that I would sell my soul for to experience again for the first time. It's so cute. It is so beautiful, the storytelling and just the characters. It's really amazing. I loved reading this. Then we have From Blood and Ash. This is a series that I'm still currently reading. I know that's a shocker. I'm on the third book now, and I'm going to continue this series because I'm so far into it, I don't want to stop. But it's objectively just not good. It is not good. But still, yeah, I'm still reading it, so I don't want to talk about it, okay? Red, White and Royal Blue. It's one of my favorites of all time, so definitely going to go in the first tier. Not this one. That one. I've talked about this so many times on my channel. Shadow and Bone. Yes, definitely. Very good. I love this. It's going to go in the top tier as well. The Spanish Love Deception. I did enjoy this a lot. I think it was a really solid romance. I thought the characters were interesting. I like the setting. I like the enemies to lovers trope in this one. And it's just a really summery, cute romance. I would say this is A tier for me. It's nothing that I would say I would necessarily want to read again, but it's solid, it's very good. And by read again, I mean reading a second time. I would definitely want to read a romance like that again. Just not that exact romance, because yeah, just way too many out there to do that. My Dark Vanessa, this book, after reading this, I had to think about this book so many times. And I would say it's one of the most impactful books that I have read in the last few years. And I really think it's good that this book exists, because nothing has ever really made me empathize that much with a victim as this book did. And not because I didn't want to or I didn't believe in it or anything, just because you never know how it really feels unless you're in that position and you have experienced it. And I think reading a book about it and hearing it from people themselves is the only way that you can really come close to that. And sometimes reading a book can really make you feel like being inside someone's mind, and that book definitely did. Not in a really good way, but in an important way. And yeah, this year is just going to be for books that really have impacted me a lot. The Deal by L. Kennedy. Oh, I love that this is on here. Yeah, that is definitely one of my favorite romances ever. I like sports romance a lot, and I read sports romance a lot if I get to it. And then we have Twisted Love. I just read this recently and I didn't like it. I don't even think this was alright. I didn't enjoy it that much. So I'm going to put this here for lack of better placing. I really should have just not read it, to be honest. Anyway, moving on. A Court of Thorns and Roses. This is A tier to me. I love this. It was such a good read. It's just such a fun story. I like that it is a retelling. I like Sarah J. Maas. I thought the whole series had one of the best plot twists kind of in the end, and yeah, just really enjoyable. The Perks of Being a Wallflower. This is also one of my favorite books of all time, so glad that it is on here. I love this book. I love the movie as well. So can definitely recommend this one. Ninth House. I am currently filming a reading vlog for this series for Ninth House and Hellbent, and I finished Ninth House already. And I have to say, this is a strong contestant for being one of my all-time favorite fantasy series right now, so definitely going to put this all the way up here. These Violent Delights, I read this for a video as well, for my video where I read books only based on the cover, because this cover is stunning. But the book was just alright in my opinion. I thought the premise was really cool, with it being a Romeo and Juliet retelling and then taking place in Shanghai and stuff. But yeah, I just wasn't that captivated by the story. Sally Rooney's Normal People, also all the way on top. It is, I love Sally Rooney's writing. She is so good at it. I don't know how she does it, but the vibes are immaculate, and I'm really glad that so many people are enjoying her books now. The Cruel Prince. This is an unpopular opinion still, but I don't like this at all. And that's why I'm going to put this in. I don't want to talk about it because I know people like this a lot, and I just don't. Verity by Colleen Hoover. This is, I think, controversial because it was put in the romance category on Goodreads and it won that year, I think. And it is not really a romance book. If you consider this a romance, then something is a little bit wrong with you. But it has one of the best beginnings I have ever read in a book for if it were a romance. And just in general, I love the beginning of this, and I'm going to put this in A tier. But it's definitely not my favorite Colleen Hoover book. Still fun though. The Song of Achilles. This is my all-time favorite book. Just all-time favorite out of all books that ever existed and that I have ever read. It's just that amazing. And of course, it's going to go all the way to the top. Oh, I really have a lot of favorites. That's not a bad thing, right? Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. Also a fantasy series, which has a really cool premise, and just for that alone I can't put it in alright tier. I have to put it higher up. I don't know if it's 8th tier though. Oh well, let's just put it here. Why not? I think it is a really good representation of class systems and classism, and also a really fun, strong female main character that is torn between two brothers, and yeah, just I like the manipulation that's going on in this book. Anyway, The Unhoneymooners by Christianhayne is a cute little summer romance, I would say, but it's not A tier. If I look at the other ones that I put in A tier, I would say this was alright. It was better than these two, definitely higher up, but it wasn't amazing. There was definitely too much weird drama in the end for me, personally. If you enjoyed that, then that's fine. Heartstopper. This book is just so cute. I love it. I love Alice Oseman's illustration style and her storytelling as well. Okay, next up we have The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang. And I have to say I don't remember that much about it. It has been a while since I read it, and I just remember that it is about, what is it about? It's about this woman who works at a company, and then she's in this like tech job, and then she, I think, has Asperger's, and she wants to finally have a boyfriend, and she hires this guy to be her boyfriend, I believe, and he's an escort, I think. And then they get along really well and spend time with each other and like each other. I think that's the plot. I hope I remembered this correctly. It would be really embarrassing if I didn't, and I just told you the most random plot ever. But we're going to put this in alright tier because I just don't remember that much about it. I do think though that I like this a lot, so it should be higher up. But I don't really have something in between A tier and alright, so it's just going to stay there. Next we have After, and I don't want to talk about it. I just don't. I read the first book. Why did I do that to myself? I don't know. The Night Circus. I don't remember. I don't remember anything about this. It has been at least 10 years since I've read this, and yeah, we're just going to put this here. Just because this one is quite empty. Next up, Ugly Love. This is my favorite Colleen Hoover book. Just hands down my favorite. Don't ask me why, because it doesn't have a plot that is that shocking or interesting in comparison to some of the others, which were way more emotional. I just think it's because I'm a romantic at heart and I love this love story, even though it's not really traditional or yeah, just I don't know why I like this that much. But I did. And I really want to reread this to remember what I liked about this that much. Just so I can explain it better. 6 of Crows. I think I even prefer this over Shadow and Bone. And like the Grisha trilogy, I think 6 of Crows is... I don't know. I don't know if I actually prefer it. But it's definitely also up there. Oh, I didn't actually read Pride and Prejudice. It's also on my TBR. Wow. But I do have this. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Ah, this is such a great book, and I am about to start reading the 3rd part of it. Of the series, not of the book. Obviously. I love this a lot. I love that we have this small girl detective that is running around solving crimes, and it's really cool and emotional, but also not in a way that some other thrillers are. It's not as dark somehow, even though it's emotional, and it's a YA thriller, and I haven't read many of those, and I like it. Put it into A tier. November 9 by Colleen Hoover. This book, you know, I'm going to put it in I don't want to talk about it because it's so controversial. And even in my own head it's controversial. Because people have a good point that the ending of this book is really something that can't be excused. So let's just going to put this here. It ends with us. This is also for some reason controversial, even though I think it's really clear, and I think this book is so good, and yeah, I'm going to put this here because it's definitely not my favorite story just because of the topic, but I think it's important, and I think that Colleen Hoover did a great job with writing about it. That is my take on that. And the last one, Christina Lauren, Love and Other Words. This is a book where, if I remember it correctly, I was really torn, because on one side I really liked the love story in there, but there was this huge twist that I didn't enjoy at all, and that really kind of ruined it for me. And that's why I'm just going to put this in alright, because I can't really say how much I liked it or if I liked it. So, now we have it. I ranked all of these books. Oh my god, those were quite a lot. I didn't expect that. I saw how many that were and still it didn't look that much. Anyway, this was really fun nonetheless, even though I thought I had read a larger percentage of the books on here. And yeah, I just think Booktok seems to have some great recommendations, because I liked a lot of them, and a lot of them were my favorite books that I didn't even know were that popular in Booktok. But I still enjoy watching YouTube videos about Booktok, which is weird because it's like secondhand media. But if you have any more recommendations that are on this list, as I've said before, please let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!